Hello, 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 it's Kathy Waddell at MyStampingSpot.com coming to you with the second half of this week's Spotlight class. So we did 3 cards the other night. I'm just changing my adhesive here. We did 3 cards the other night. One was a shaker card, and we are doing 3 cards this afternoon. Do I have the other night's cards? Oh, I do. So we did the envelopes, the cards and envelopes, the mix and match cards and envelopes. I even stamped on this one. That was 2. This is the shaker card. Isn't that cute? I think that's so cute. And then this was our 3rd card. So this was my prototype, but when we made it in person, we turned it horizontally. And we put this here and kind of had the sprays coming out both sides. So there we go. There's the first 3 cards of the week. Let's get going. Oh, let's do a fun fold first. You want it? So we are working with the Branching Out stamp set. Wishing you a day filled with many happy moments to a very special someone, set with lots of love. Thinking of you brings joy to my heart. From our family to yours. Hello, happiest birthday wishes, and friend. And then we have all these great dies. And I have to tell you, I love these shapes. This will be a set I hang on to, because I don't always hang on to everything. I do want to mention, if you are local to Windham, New Hampshire, bingo, I think only has 9 spots left for in-person. So if you want to do cards and bingo live in person in Windham, New Hampshire, you're going to want to get on that. And there is 1 Christmas club left for November. Just 1. So I put the registration link below, and it will close out when it is sold out. Okay, so we have a piece of old olive. This is 8 inches by 4 1/4. Basically what I did was cut a 4 1/4 strip, and I just cut 3 1/2 off. I scored it at 5 1/4. I have a big piece of spruce cut at 5 3/8 by 4 3/8. No, 4 1/8. I'm sorry, 4 1/8. And I have this DSP that we've been working with called Pine Snowflakes. This is, what is this? This is 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going to adhere that to this layer. Now I struggled. I almost put this on cherry cobbler if you're doing this at home. I almost did the cherry cobbler and the spruce combo. You could also do the cherry cobbler and the olive combo. In the end, I decided I would pull from all the colors in the DSP by doing the old olive, the spruce, and the cherry, but just in different forms. So this is how I came to be here. We're going to put this on the inside of this card because we're making a little fun fold. A fun little fun fold. Simple fun fold. All right, then we have a piece of DSP. This is 4 by 2 1/4. And with it goes 4 1/8 by 2 3/8. I will get all this on the blog tonight. The first 3 cards we made are up on the blog. But you're going to have to go back 2 posts because the last one I did was that cute little gingerbread holder that I did yesterday. So these posts won't be back to back. Okay, we're going to put this on this front fold, the front flap. There we go, okay? Now, let's see here. I am going to stamp. I like the wishing you a day filled with many happy moments. I kind of feel like that could be birthday. It doesn't have to just be holiday. Holy smokes, look at my dirty block. I kind of feel like many happy moments doesn't have to be just birthday. It could be anniversary. It could be, I don't know, maybe a special accomplishment by someone in the winter season. Could be a Christmas card. Could be a birthday card. Could be a lot of things. I'm going to get a cherry cobbler ink pad over here. Let's get that stamp lined up. Hopefully I do this straight, looking through my camera here. And I'm going to put it up high on this tag because down the bottom we're going to kind of build a bow. I don't know how you say it. go. Oh, I wobbled. Hopefully it didn't. Okay, that looks all right. Okay, we are now, well, I'm going to close the sink up because I'm smarter than that. We are now going to attach this to one of these cherry cobbler backings. So there's exciting news. If you want this kit, you can make a purchase by Sunday. And I'm going to bring my wet glue in here. Or you can just purchase the class. But I do want to tell you that we got word yesterday that they are doing, for the first time ever, a Black Friday sale. And I did see that they are, oh gosh, I will post about it this afternoon. I haven't had time to do it yet. So I'm kind of just, I'm going to let these come off the edge, but I'm going to kind of have the stems meet in the middle. I'm going to kind of have them go both ways like this and just have the stems meet in the middle. So I know that adhesives are on sale. And then I think it said select items. I don't know. I will make a post about this afternoon. Perhaps I'll even send an email so that you all have it. So that starts next. Oh, is it? Oop, oop, oop. They call it a Black Friday sale, but I think it's starting maybe Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday. So that's kind of cool. They've never done one of those. A lot of times, I think in November they do their DSP sale, but I didn't see them doing that. Okay, so now, just put some glue on this. And now, I'm not going to have these touch. Oop. They're going to come like this, but I'm going to pull them out a little bit because I'm going to put these pine cones over it. So I think I'm going to kind of just fill in here. Oh, shoot, look what I did. I wanted to stamp this. I don't know if I can pull this up. I don't think I can. Well, we're going to try. Houston, can we rebuild it? So I feel like this is a little stark if you don't stamp greenery in here. So I'm going to do this, put that there. Talk about trying to make this work. I want to pat up all this glue. Like this. This is not optimum, but we're going to do it. I'm going to take this image and stamp that multiple times. And I'm going to do that in Old Olive. And this should have been done before it was attached to my cherry piece. See, I get ahead of myself. I wasn't paying attention. So all I'm doing is I am just going to hope that this doesn't get on my cherry piece. Kind of just doing a little fill-in in the background. Like that. And I know that kind of looks ugly, especially since it's got a piece of the paper there. But we can rebuild this. Watch this. I'm going to pull this off. Did you ever make a boo-boo and then you fix it and you can't believe you were able to fix it? That's where I'm at right now. I think I'm going to be able to fix this. I'm going to be able to salvage this. Okay. This is still pretty tacky. All right, let's try this again. Back where I belong. There we go. All right, now let's put this down. And again, we're not going to have the two ends meet because I want to fill in a bit. Like that. And dot, 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 dot. There we go. You can see how it takes shape a little bit. All right, now I have my pine cones. The pine cones definitely have a positive and a negative side, so you want to make sure you get the right side. And I'm going to just have these kind of meet in the middle. Didn't put enough glue on there, I guess. I wish I had more greenery stamped down here. I'm going to see if I can do that. Just to fill it in. What do you think? Am I risking it? I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. Oh, okay. We got it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Yeah. All right, let's go back to this. If you can follow this video to recreate this card, God bless you. Now, like my green stems, I'm going to leave a little bit of space on my pine cones because I have some berries I'm going to put in there. Like that. Oops. Okay. I have the cherry cobbler and pearl adhesive blackberries. I'm going to use the little group of 3. If I can get my package open. I think it's one of those days. And let's see here. Ah! Okay, well, we're not using that one. Guess we're going to pancake this up. Pancake, because I'm using a spatula, see? I'm sorry, now I'm getting giddy. And we're going to put those right there. There we go. Okay, let's add this to our card front. And you got to be careful how far over you put the adhesive. I'll put this right here. Can you believe I pulled that off? Okay, I'm not going to stamp the inside, but I am going to attach these layers. Looking for my front and back. Because they have that nice edge, the nice stitching on the edge. Okay, and I'm going to use wet glue so that I can shift it if I make a boo-boo. But here's how I handle this. I line these up like this. And then I fold this over. And it's well hidden. And it looks pretty straight, so I think we can leave it. So there we go. Okay, so this was I messed up pretty good on this. This was my prototype card, which was very eerily similar, so that came out good. I'm glad about that. Hey, Kay, how are you? Okay, so there's card 1. Let's see. This is not my favorite card, but I'm going to do it nonetheless. I have 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. This is that awesome plaid DSP, the 6x6. We are going to just add that to the front. Oh, look, I did, you know what, Joelle? I did punch one of those circles. We're here packing up Stamp Club by mail, and we're actually getting Christmas off early, too. Hi, Shirley. Thank you. So this is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm just going to put that on the front. I've been doing a lot of plaids lately. I mean, a lot of 1/8" layers lately. Now, this is the 2, because it's 6x6 DSP, by 5 1/4. I'm going to put that inside, because why waste it, right? There we go. And then I have a piece that is 3 by 4 that we're going to put inside, and I'm not going to stamp it. Just going to put that inside. So we have kind of a little bit more of a fancier inside. Hey, Brenda, how are you? All right, I have pre-punched a 2 3/8 inch white circle. All right, hang with me on this one. This is going to be a little much. Okay. I'm actually going to sit down while I do this, so that I'm not looking through the screen, because when I look through the screen, sometimes I can't get it right. I'm going to put this card off to the side first. Now, I have all these little branches, all these little pine branches. I'm just taking the little centers out. So I have 5 of them. So it gives me 10 of the little, like, shoots of pine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim these down. So we just have 1, 2. You want to leave a little stem on them because it does help you guide. We're going to make a wreath out of this. So if you leave a little bit of a stem, it helps you to create this circle. Now, we are going to put a greeting in the middle, and I wrestled with, do I stamp first and then go around? I'm going to go around and then stamp after, okay? So, I don't want to, I need to move this for a second, hold on. I don't want to totally goop this thing up with glue because we want to put things in. We want to put some of these sprigs in, some of these little red berries, and some of the pine cones. So I'm going to take like the base of this and put a dot of glue like that. And I'm going to use this end and kind of make sure it touches an outside and have that dot of glue just kind of right at the edge of the circle, like that. And we're just going to space them evenly along. So you don't want to go this way, you want to go this way. So you want to work counterclockwise because otherwise you're putting it over the branches and we want the ends of the branches to show. And you don't want to go too close because you'd need 50 million of these and it will be plenty full when we get everything all together. So I'm going to kind of have the end kind of touch that place where you put like the big glop of glue and like that. And we're just going to continue around. Some of your stems might be longer. That's okay. But the thing is, if you make sure your stem touches the circle, whoops, that's a little too close, then if it touches the circle, then you will be sure that you're kind of staying in the same shape. And it doesn't matter if it's longer or shorter. And just keep working around like this. And it may not be a perfect circle, and that's okay because wreaths are never perfectly round, as long as you get the general. And you're going to use these other pieces to kind of fill in and make it a little more round. I'm just going to keep going. Whoops. That one moved on me. Like that. I actually have one more here too. I have so much glue on my fingers, it's actually pulling up the pieces as I put them down. I have one more piece here I have to cut down too. This one has a little, there we go. There we go. It's really hard to be self-controlled and not put glue over everything. But I assure you, if you do that, you'll be sorry in the end. I am sitting down, so if you're commenting, I'm not seeing it right this second, but I will go back and take a look if you have questions as we go. Okay. And we have one more here. Now, with the last one, just trying to pick it up. With the last one, you want to tuck the tail under here before you put it on, like that. Now, I am going to shift this one out a little bit. Okay. Now, it looks a little sparse. Hey, Carol, how are you? You know what, Carol, I've been going to come over to see you. Oh, thank you, Jonna. Hey, Connie. Carol, I will get in touch with you. Okay, so now we look a little lighter here than we do here, but that's okay because I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. I'm first gonna put in these big red berry vines, and again, I'm not gonna put glue all over the top because I want to kind of pick up and put in like this, and I want to have one go out. I want to kind of do like 12, 6, 3, and 9. And then so the 12 and the 6, like I'm thinking like a clock, I'm going to kind of have them point upward a little bit or out away from the wreath a little bit, like that. And then the next 2, I'm going to kind of have them point inward a little bit. Not a lot, because you need room in here to be able to stamp, but just a little bit like that. So it kind of follows the bend of the wreath. And then 2 kind of poke out a little bit. Okay. Let me see. Maybe this one needs to come in here a little bit. Yep, I think kind of like that. Okay. See how it's filling in a little? Hi, Lila. Welcome. All right. So this one piece, we want to get 4 out of this. So if I cut it in half, it's going to be right about here. And cut it right like at a joint. And the same thing here. I'm going to cut this at this joint. Whoops. So that they're roughly the same size. A couple of them are going to be a little smaller just because of where you need to cut. But that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Like that, okay? And again, we are going to kind of leave the glue off the top. You could go back later if you wanted and try to kind of force it in, some glue on it. But so basically, I'm just going to put one in between each branch. And I am going to kind of angle it out a bit. Like that. In between each red branch, I should have said that. I should have qualified that. Let's see here. Pick this one up. And there we go. Just to add a little more texture and a little more dimension. So there's a lot to this, but honestly, the pine cones I cut 2 at a time because you can double the cardstock. The berries will actually cut 2 at a time. The green pine stems, the branches, these olive ones, those I could not get to cut 2 at a time. So I had to cut those, like this took 5 branches to get the 10 pieces. Okay. Now, still looks a little sparse, but I'm telling you, when you go in and you add these little pine cones, it makes the world of difference. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and I'm just going to like pop it under 1 or 2 of the little pine needles. Not all of them, like that. And again, we're going to do, you know, kind of, there's 5 of these. So these are going to be a little closer than some of the other pieces we've put on, some of the other elements we've put on. Like that. And see how some I'm putting on the outside, some I'm putting on the inside. We're just going to kind of zigzag them back and forth. Let's see. Just going to lay these down just to see where I'm going to want them to be. So I think this one's going to come up here somewhere. Going to get a lot of glue on your fingers with this project. That. And one more lonely little pine cone. And we're going to put him in here. Whoops, I need to pull him out. So I put him under all these branches. I don't really want to do that. Maybe just under one. Okay. Oh no, Connie, I'm sorry. You know, Connie, I have terrible reception here. That may be mine. Although, Kay, you're saying you see it, so maybe it's not mine. I do have terrible internet here. Okay, now, let's stamp our words. I am going to do from our family to yours, as long as I can get it to fit in there, which I should be able to. I was able to on my sample card. Okay, and I'm going to do it in early espresso so that it kind of shows up good. And now, I'm a little bare here, I feel like. I want to put a bow on this, so I'm trying to decide where the bow should be. Maybe here. So I'm going to put my words here, like this. And it just barely fits. Like that. Okay. Again, that's an early espresso. And here's where you can come and add more glue to the whole thing if you want. I'm not going to glue all mine down. I kind of like mine being wispy. And I'll put that kind of up the top here. Like that. Then I have some of this gold mesh striped ribbon. I love this ribbon. It is so pretty. And I'm just going to tie a bow. So I'm just doing rabbit ears. I'm going to tie a bow. Now, I'm going to use a glue dot, but honestly, I find the white glue is better if you put a dab of glue. I'm not going to do that because it won't dry in time for me to move this card around. But I'm going to show you my sample card after so that you can see that if you use the white glue, you really don't see it. I'm going to use glue dots now, though. All right, so I want to make my bow kind of a little fluffy. I'm going to get some glue dots over here, and I'm going to leave my tails long. And I find when I put, trying to decide which side I like better. When I put glue dots on my bows, I find they pull off. But that's just me, maybe. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of add it to the bottom here. Like that. And I'm going to leave my little banners a little longer. Way longer than I normally would, but it'll kind of help to fill in a little down here. And I am going to take my scissors and carefully just kind of try to train that inward a little bit. Like that. Now, we are going to take the awesome sparkling sequins. And I thought gold would be pretty on here. So I'm going to put a couple of the bigger gold ones down here to help fill in with the space a little bit. Like that. And I'm going to take a couple of the smaller ones and kind of just dot them on my wreath. Whoops. Here and there. And again, make sure you work inside, outside, so that they're not all in the same location. Like that. We could probably even put one in here, maybe. There we go. What do you think? So this was my prototype, and this is what we just did. Okay, so this is a little work, but you know what? I really do think it's well worth it. And like I said, you can cut the cherry cobbler and the pecan pie. You can cut, and the espresso. You could do 2 layers at once through your Big Shot stamp emboss machine. It's only the pines that I had to do 1 at a time. So there we go. And that's our second card. All right, let's go to our last card. I think this is my favorite out of the whole week. You'll have to tell me what you like best. Okay, this is a little bit of a front fold. And again, we're bringing this in with some unusual colors today. All right, I have Secret Sea. Secret Sea, dark and stormy. Okay, this is 7.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. So essentially what I did was I cut an 8.5 by 5.5, scored it at 4 1/4, and then I just cut 1 inch off of one end. Okay, it's going to give me a little fold here. This piece here is Secret Sea that I did with the Forever Plaid folder. This is 5 3/8 by 3 1/8. That is going to come on here like this. I have a piece of this gorgeous Pine Snowflakes DSP. I love that. This is 5.5 by 1 inch. And I have a piece of basic white. This is 3 1/4 by 5.5. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this on the inside. I'm going to get the inside wrapped up right away. And it's the full width of this card, or length of this card, width, I guess, and this, well, it's actually the length, but, and I'm going to butt it right against the score, like that. Then we're going to take our DSP piece, and we are just going to pop this at the end. And again, it's the full length, like that. Okay, now we have one more piece. This is Old Olive. This is 5.5 by 1/2 inch. It's only a 1/2 inch. So I need a piece of scrap. I am going to, so this is the card front. I'm going to, along the inside of the card front, I'm just going to put like half a tape line, whoops, of adhesive, like that. And we are going to put, well, you know what, I'm going to try doing this way and closing it on it, see if we can, yeah, I think that's easier. Gives me a nice straight edge. Okay. This piece we are going to pop up on dimensionals. Let's put some dimensional pieces on here. Okay. Take these backings off. And we're just going to center this piece to our Secret Sea on the front. It's just a smidge smaller than the front panel. It's like it's like a 1/16 of an inch smaller than that front panel. But it just gives it a little raised edge, just a little bit. All right, now, Secret Sea. Oh, I have so many ink pads over here. Secret Sea, here we go. Okay, we're going to stamp this. And I'm going to use Hello Friend because I just think I haven't used it yet. And I just think I want to. It's good to have different greetings. Okay, so I'm going to do the hello kind of to the right-hand side of this and a little bit higher. Like that. Hopefully that's straight. Then I'm going to do the friend a little lower over here. Let's see, I think like there. Okay. Now, I didn't do this on my sample card, but I think I'm going to do it on this card. I think I'm going to stamp this little like splatter mark kind of, maybe an old olive. Like I said, I'll show you my sample card after. I did not do it on my sample card, but I'm going to try it on this one, and then you can tell me if you like it better or not. And I could do it in a lot of different colors. I'm thinking maybe cherry cobbler, but I think I'm going to stick with the old olive. And I am just going to, I need a piece of scrap here. Hold on. Because I'm going to stamp it off. Let's see, maybe like that. And like that. Okay. That looks a little busy. I don't know if I'm going to regret that. I'm going to find out. Okay, I have here, let's build ourselves a little spray. So I have 2 of these pine sprigs that I'm going to attach. I think one like that, and one maybe like that. Maybe I'll just move it down a little bit. Okay, so I actually think I'm going to attach this to my card front before I do anything else, so that I can glue my sprigs down pretty good. So I just want to put this here like this. Okay, and then we're going to come in with our Tombow glue. It dried out on me a little bit here. There we go. Okay. So this one I'm going to kind of put a little higher. And this one we're going to kind of fill in a bit. I think like maybe, I'm going to cut this end off. I don't want this to go below. I'm going to put that like that, I think. Okay. Now, we're going to take these and we are going to cut these down. I don't like this. I don't like this. I feel like I need to manipulate that like that so that this fills in a little. See what I did there? I kind of used the glue and I kind of manipulated that open so it was a little more widespread. Then I'm just gonna, I don't know, estimate, just take that off. Let's add some glue to this. Pretty cold in the Northeast here. I don't know what it's like in the rest of the country. Dry though, hasn't been wet. Okay, and I'm going to take my other, this is Pretty Peacock, did I say that? This is Pretty Peacock. Same thing, I'm just kind of estimating. No exact measurement here. And I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm holding on to the top little ball and put glue on the rest of it. There we go. And I am going to have these stems kind of meet down here. Like that. Then we have our red berries. Same thing. We're just going to, a little dabble do ya. And I'm going to bring these stems down. Whoops. Kind of so they're all kind of meeting down here. Now this one I may pull up a little because this is so tall, so this one may not meet down here. Let's see what it looks like when we put it all together. And I think I'm going to bring it over onto the white just a little bit. I'm going to admit, I don't think I like this stamping, but you can be the judge of that after. All right, now I'm going to have 3 pine cones. I've been using like 2 at a time, but I want to put a bow on this. So I kind of want this to be like the covering, oops, that covers all the ends here of all the branches. So I am going to put 3 and make them kind of triangular to cover the ends like this. See what I'm doing? And this. There we go. Now that gives us a nice platform for our bow. Now again, I used white glue, Tombow glue, for my bow. However, I'm going to use a glue dot right now. This is Early Espresso and Old Olive linen thread pack. So I'm just going to take a decent sized piece. You could save these for another project, or you could throw those away, whichever. And I'm just going to double this up. Like this. And I'm just going to make a little bow. I actually have one sitting on the corner of my desk because when I was making my sample card, I dropped it on the floor and I happened to find it just before I went on. But I'm going to make another one just to show you how. So now the tricky part to this is making sure your tails stay together when you pull your loops in. You know, make sure you pull both the tails at the same time. So I'm going to hold that knot, pull this side, and then make sure those loops are the same size. And I'm going to hold that knot and pull the other 2. And just verify that they are about the same size. Okay, and we're going to get a glue dot. And like I said, I highly recommend the white glue. Put something on it, a block or something, and let it sit to make sure that you really have a well-affixed bow. I'm going to pop that right in the middle of those pine cones. What's in there? Oh, my string's in there. Like that. And we'll just trim these down a little bit. There we go. And I'm not even going to stamp the inside of this card because it already has this. I guess you could, but now let's bring in the sparkling sequins. And I'm just going to put, this is Old Olive. It kind of looks like Granny Apple Green, but I like the brightness of it. I'm going to kind of do one big and a couple smaller, or I should say medium. And maybe we'll do one of the really small on the label here, like that. What do you think? So, this is my prototype that I did clean without the dots, and I really do think I like this better. But it just looks so tiny and cute. But I do think this is the way to go, but that's your call. All right, there we go. So, here are this week's cards. Which one's your favorite of the week? I got to know. There we go. Let's do one of each. I'm going to do the plain one because I just like it better. Which one's your favorite? There we go. There they are. Oh, my ink pad piled up over here. All right. Well, I thank you all for being here this week. You like the plain one. Which one's the plain one? This one? The red? Oh, the plaid. Those ones maybe? You like the wreath. Nice, nice, nice. All right. The bird, Jonna, Which is the bird? I don't see a bird here. Jonah, help me. I'm not saying there isn't one, because, you know, my brain is never really there. All right. I have the newest kit that got released that I think is really pretty. It's Everyday Beauty, I think. And I'm going to do this at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. I think this is the one. I want to make sure. So you can check in tomorrow. They're really pushing kits this week. Can you believe kits are the #1 seller for them? I think a lot of people don't like to collect the items. And yes, this is the one. So I'm gonna showcase this one tomorrow. I don't normally do kits, but I was away and could not pass this up because I love the blues. And I love the sayings. Thanks. Celebrate today and every day. Hello, beautiful. And for all you do. It has a Night of Navy ink spot. So join me tomorrow at 8 a.m. if you're up for it. The 3rd. There we go. Okay. I took that as bird, Jonna. I don't know. In another life, I may have put that together. All right, you guys. Listen, if I don't see you tomorrow, I hope you have a great weekend. But I hope I do see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon. Oh, in case you didn't know, we're packing up Stamp Club by Mail occasions, and Christmas Club is going out early. So they're all in boxes and bags and all kinds of stuff around here. So if they're not in the mail tonight, they'll be in the mail first thing in the morning. So be looking for yours. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you soon. Bye. And I have a slow connection bar over my autocorrect. I hear you. All right, there we go. Now I can hit finish. Bye.